What's going on, saxophone players? Today we're going to talk about how to set up your saxophone, how to take care of your saxophone, and how to put your saxophone away properly. Now what I have here is an alto saxophone. It's the smallest one that we use besides a soprano. But what I'm about to teach you works for a tenor saxophone and it works for a baritone saxophone. Any of the saxophones, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, so I start off with my alto case right here. I'm going to set it flat on the table. Now I would normally have it facing me, but I'm going to have it facing you so that you can see it. Okay, you'll notice that the bigger part of the case in the divide is on the bottom because that's where the saxophone is going to sit. The smaller part is on top. We don't want to open it upside down because the saxophone will fall out and cause damage. I'm going to undo the latches and open it up to reveal the saxophone. Now, the first thing in here you're going to put on is your neck strap. These come in all shapes and sizes. You can buy your own. I like these Rico ones, but if you want another fancier one that has maybe more padding on the back, I have a nice one that has this like Neotech. It's a Neotech brand. It's got this padding on the back. There's fuzzy padding ones. There's full shoulder harness ones if you want to use your whole body to hold the weight of the saxophone. That's better for bari saxes, but just make sure that you put it on first because that's what we're going to attach the saxophone to. When we take the saxophone out of its case, we don't grab it by the keys or any of these silver bars or anything. You're going to loop your hand into the bell of the saxophone right here. Okay, watch that again. Into the bell, pick it up, and then cradle it. Hold it by the bell. Try not to pull on any of these keys because you can break them that way. And then I'm going to attach my saxophone to my neck strap. Don't just let it fall from there. Gently, just check that your neck strap is holding. Okay? Don't drop it. That's a good way to break your neck strap. Okay? So now that I've got the main body attached, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out, this one has a pad saver on it. And this just soaks up the moisture and helps protect the pads. But this, most of yours are going to have this, which is a little cap that protects the inside of this. And also sometimes this octave key lever right here sticks out, so it protects that from hooking on anything and getting snapped off. Okay, once I take my pad saver out, I'm going to put it back in the case. Then I'm going to grab the neck section. Don't grab it by the register key. Okay, if you grab it by this, you're going to bend it. Grab it. You can just grab it out by the cork or whatever. Okay, then I'm going to make sure that this is loose. Okay, not too loose because you don't want to lose the screw, just loose enough. And then put the neck into the full body. Okay, you don't have to force it. If it doesn't fit, there's probably something wrong with it. One thing you might try if it feels a little sticky is just take a towel and clean out the inside of this right here. Okay, but it should fit pretty nicely and you shouldn't have to force it. And then you're going to turn it to tighten it. It doesn't need to be super tight. Okay, just enough to hold it in place. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my mouthpiece and I'm going to attach my mouthpiece onto the cork. Okay, again, trying not to bump the keys. And it doesn't need to go all the way down. Okay, eventually we're going to be adjusting this length, but we will talk about that in another video, but just make sure it's on securely. Okay, then I'm going to take out my reed right here. Remember, keep this always in a case. And I'm going to take out my ligature. That's this, which holds the reed onto the mouthpiece. I'm going to get my reed wet. I can do it with my mouth. I can run it under some water. Okay? And then I'm going to twist this towards you so you can see. But when I put this reed on, it should fit right over this plate. And I like to line it up so there's just barely a little bit of black on the top there, and then I put my ligature on. I may have to open and loosen my ligature because I have to get it below this U right here onto the part of the reed that isn't shaved. If your ligature is touching the part of the reed that is shaved, that's the part that vibrates and makes the sound on the saxophone, so you're going to choke off all that sound. Okay, I'm going to twist it not super tight, and then I'm going to spin it around. Whenever you're adjusting your mouthpiece, don't grab it by these ligature screws because you can snap them off. It's pretty easy to do that. So just grab it by the bottom and twist it. Okay, when I line this up, I like this octave key spot to line up with the bottom of the neck piece, and then I like the mouthpiece to line up with the neck piece right here. And just, you want it so it fits in nice into your mouth, and you're gonna adjust your neck strap up until the saxophone can, if you tilt it towards you, it can come and rest on your lips and just be right there, so you don't have to tilt your neck down. We don't wanna play like this. Okay, we also don't wanna play like this. We wanna just have our head level and just be able to bring the saxophone right up to it and be able to play. Okay, so that's setting up the saxophone. Most of the care for the saxophone is gonna happen when we take it apart. Okay, so now we're gonna transition to talking about how to put away your saxophone. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently unscrew my ligature. I'm gonna take it off, put it in the case. I'm gonna take my reed and I'm gonna put that immediately back into its reed case. Okay, keep that secure like that at all times. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my mouthpiece off. When I take it off, try not to grip too tight and turn this. There's a lot of buttons and levers on these saxophones. We don't wanna hurt any of them. So I'm just gonna hold it like that, and I'm gonna gently twist my mouthpiece off. Okay, the mouthpiece is going to be wet. So I have a swab in here. Okay, I can just drop it down into the mouthpiece and I'm gonna run it through. And my mouthpiece should be dried and good to go. Once a week, you can clean this with soap and water. You can even use a brush to scrub down in there so you prevent gross buildup. That's what I would recommend, once a week, soap and water on this. And then I'm just gonna put it back where it belongs. Next piece I'm gonna take off is my neck piece. I'm gonna unscrew the neck. I'm gonna take out the neck gently, just twisting, not forcing it out, okay? And then I can once again put my swab through the neck piece, get rid of all the condensation from your breath, and I'm gonna set it gently back into the case. Okay, now with the neck strap still on, and by the way, with the neck strap, it's always good to pretend like it's gonna fall off at any moment. So just be aware that it can fall off, and you gotta be really careful, because if it falls from this height, it's gonna get damaged. Okay, I can run the swab cloth through this. This is a little bit more difficult, but it is a good thing to do. It's weighted, so it should fall to the bottom. I'm gonna try to get it through as much as possible. I might shake it a little bit, just to make sure it's down there, and I see it down there. Now my hands are gonna be too big to get it out of there. There it is. So the weight just fell through, and I'm gonna pull gently through and get the spit off there. Okay, again, pretending like my saxophone can fall off at any moment. I'll set it down gently. Now I'm done with this swab cloth. You can leave it out to dry a little bit because it's gonna be wet from your condensation from your mouth. But I haven't played, so it's gonna be dry. And then you're gonna put it back in your case. Okay. The last thing you're gonna do is put your pad saver back in if you have one, or your cap on. Just like that. Right in there so it fits gently. Grab the saxophone by the bell. Take your neck strap off. And gently, I gotta twist it around. Make sure the saxophone goes in the case very gently. And don't forget to take off your neck strap. Okay, that's a classic saxophone mistake, is to leave this on. So I would loosen it, take it off, put it in the case, close the case, and we're done. That's how we set up, take care of, and tear down our saxophone for playing.